Hey everybody, welcome to another top 10 list, and yes, it's April, in the middle of April now, and what does that mean? Yes, Game of Thrones is back on. Oh my god, Game of Thrones is one of the greatest shows on television now, and it's freaking awesome. I love Game of Thrones, as you can clearly tell. Yes, I love Game of Thrones, and yes, this season is shaping up to be an awesome season. First episode premiered, second episode's on tomorrow, and I am so freaking jacked up, and you know what I thought? I could have reviewed the whole series, like season 1, 2, and 3, and 4, but I thought that would take too long, so I thought I'd make a top 10 of my favorite Game of Thrones characters. Okay, there's some rules to this top 10 list. I have not read the book, Songs of Fire and Ice, on this list. I know the show's missed a few characters, but I don't care. This top 10 list is just my favorite Game of Thrones characters from the show. Some are alive, some are dead, and if you've not watched this show yet, this video contains a lot of spoilers, so yeah, if you don't like spoilers, you might have to skip this video, or just go through the top 10 and don't listen to me talk. Don't listen to me ramble on, even though my rambling is pretty awesome. Well, at least I think so. Anyways, let's get to the top 10 of my personal favorite Game of Thrones characters. Yes. Okay, I'll stop that. And of course, before a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. I have a few honorable mentions, and those honorable mentions are Samwell Tarly, I love him. Brandon Stark, a psychic. Well, he sees the future. Robb Stark, gosh your soul. Peter Baelish, that's Littlefinger, yes, awesome villain. Ingrid, Jorah, Mr. Friendzone. And Khal Drogo, no. Is that all you could say? No. Yes, I love all those characters. They are all my honorable mentions, and they didn't make the top 10. But what did make my top 10, was my number 10, and my number 10 is Jaime Lannister. Yes, the Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister. Right from the first episode, I fucking hated this character. I'm like, oh god, this guy's a typical douche. He's kind of like a pretty boy, but you know, with the nice golden hair. Honestly, he grew on me. Actually, in Season 2, he grew on me. I know Season 3 is when he grew on everyone, but he kind of grew on me. I liked him in the prison. It showed that he actually had a dark side. Well, he always had a dark side. It showed that he had a more human side to him, and I love his conversations with Brienne, and it's just so cool, and I love him talking to Lady Catelyn, and he's kind of funny, actually, and I love how he just cheats his way, trying to get out of this prison. Well, yeah, Season 3, when he loses the hand, this is when he actually shows his good side. In Season 4, when he's trying to help Tyrion out, and I really like Jaime. He became such an unlikable character. I mean, now he's unlikable still, but he's kind of interesting, and I love how he actually has a more human side of him. Like in the first season, I thought he was just this typical dick that just hated all the Lannisters, all the Starks, and yeah, like he just didn't give a fuck. All he cares about is fighting and having incest sex with his sister. Ugh, I don't like Cersei, by the way, but no one does. Lena Headey's great in the show. Everyone's great in the show. But yeah, I love Jaime. Nikolai Coster-Waldau plays the guy, and he's a great actor. And I like Jaime. He's not just a pretty boy. He actually has a heart of gold, sorta. Well, actually, he kind of doesn't. He's a cool character. He grew on me. He got interesting. And that typical douche like he was in the first season. He grows into an interesting and pretty likable character, and he's my number 10. Coming number 9 is Tywin Lannister. Yes, this is the villain of the show, and him and Peter Baelish are pretty much like the villains in the show. And I like Peter Baelish because he's more of a wise villain. Tywin Lannister is more a hands-on villain. I'm not going to go into too much detail about Tywin Lannister, other than he's a good villain. He dies in the end of Season 4 in a very funny way. I won't spoil how he dies. It's pretty funny. But yeah, he's just a very cunning and smart villain. All he cares about pretty much is his family. That's it. Just the Lannister name. And yeah, I do like him. I like his loyalty, and I like how clever he is. And you never know what Tywin's capable of. Like, sometimes you think, oh, Tywin's not that bad, but then he pulls something out of his ass. You're like, man, don't fuck with this guy. And yeah, I like Tywin. Yeah, I'm a little sad to see him go, because I'm like, I like villains in this show, but we still got Peter Baelish. I like Peter Baelish, but I like Tywin. He's one of my favorite characters. Coming at number 8 is the Hound. This is another character I'm not going to go into too much detail with, because honestly, this guy doesn't have a lot of character development. Yes, you find out why he has all these scars on his face, and yes, you find out why he's scared of fire and everything, and why he hates his brother, the Mountain, so much. But I love this character so much just because he's such an asshole. He's not like a bad guy, he's just kind of a dick, and I love it. Like his constant insults to everyone, and how he constantly just insults Joffrey is just so friggin' funny. And yeah, honestly, he does have a lot of kindness in him, especially with young kids, especially women. Like, he's so kind to Sansa and so kind to Arya, even though he constantly just kills everybody, but he does have heart in him, and I love his fight. Like, he's an awesome fighter. Like, he goes graphic in this fucking show. Like, he rips people in half. He's, like, ripping throats out. Oh, man, he is just brutal and ruthless, and I love him. He's, like, this big, almost a monster kind of, like, guy, and he's just so freaking good. I love the Hound. I think he died in the end of season 4. Some people say, oh, he's not dead. I wouldn't know because I haven't read the books. God, I hope he isn't, but I think he is, and the way he got owned by Brienne of Tarth, oh, man, that was a vicious fight, but I do love the Hound. He's so freaking hilarious, and yeah, he's like a big gray beast, but I love him. He's so cool. Coming in number 7 is Stannis Baratheon. Yes, the true king. When Robert Baratheon died in season 1, Stannis should have been the freaking king, not the fucking Joffrey. He's not even the king's actual son, and oh, yeah, like, I know, yeah, everyone watches the show knows, but some people actually don't like Stannis. Some people actually like people like Renly better. Renly was I like Stannis. I love how smart Stannis is. Stannis is a straight-up strategy kind of guy. He's basically a military officer, because that's what he did. That's what he did when Robert Baratheon was king. He was basically the officer. He was the soldier. He went to battles and fought all the kingdoms if they had beef with Robert Baratheon. And now he's the rightful heir because he's next in line. He's the next oldest son. And yeah, he should have been king, but he wasn't, and now he wants to fight for their rights. He's like, I'm the fucking king. Ned Stark believed that, and all my troops believe that, and that's the truth. And I am all for it. I think Stannis should be king. Would he be a great king? I don't know, really. I don't know. I see him as a leader. He's a decent leader. He has his asshole moments, but I do like Stannis Baratheon. I love how strategic he is. I love how cunning he is. And I like that sometimes he has to do bad shit to sometimes get what he wants, but sometimes what he wants is the good for the people. And yeah, I like that. And I like Stannis Baratheon. Some people are not a big fan of him. I like Stannis. I like him. He's cool. He's interesting. And the actor that plays him is awesome. So yeah, go Stannis. Be king. Take that little prick off the throne. Not Joffrey, the other little prick. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him. He's kind of a wimp. Next. Number 6 is Eddard Stark. Yes, Ned Stark. He was the main character in the first season, but of course, actor Sean Bean's in this show, so he had to die, because Sean Bean dies in everything. We all know. And I like Ned Stark. Oh my god. If Ned was still in the show, he would probably be my top 3 favorite characters. But since he died, more characters got involved and more developed, and I grew to like them better. But I love Ned Stark. I think he's such an honorable man. He has the most loyalty and most honor out of any character in this damn show, and that's why I like him. And that's why, honestly, that's what gets him killed in the end. He's too kind. He's too loyal. He's got too much honor, and he cares about too much about what's right and what should be done. Like, sometimes what's right isn't always what's right. Sometimes you just gotta do the bad shit to get good shit in the end. And he didn't believe that. He believed you had to always be good, and then good things would happen. Not when you're playing the Game of Thrones. Not so much. Usually the selfish and asshole people are in the lead. And that's why Ned died in the end. And it's sad, because I really liked Ned Stark. I loved his loyalty. I loved his relationship with all his family members. Lady Catelyn, his 2 daughters, even briefly with Jon Snow. And I like his connection with all his kids and with his people. He actually genuinely cared. There's other characters that genuinely care, and well, I'll get to them in my next top 5, but I liked Ned. I loved his honor. I loved how committed he was with his people. And, like, he actually didn't even want to be king. He actually just wanted to be the hand and help out. He didn't want to rule the kingdom. He wasn't that little shit, Joffrey. He wanted what was best for the kingdom, and that's why I like Ned Stark. And Sean Bean played him so freaking well, and yeah, you can see I have a big picture. You can't really see. You can see the bottom of it. You can see the sword. I have a picture of Ned Stark. Love Ned Stark. Coming at number 5 is Varys. Yes, the eunuch. Yes, he's got no dick. But anyways, I still like Varys. Varys is a really smart, intellectual character. And yeah, he's the master of whispers. Basically, he spreads a lot of gossip, and he tries to get a lot of rumors from all the kingdoms, see what's going on. He's basically like a conversationalist. He's a sneaky kind of guy. That's what I like about Varys. He's the kind of guy, like, when I first saw Varys in the first season, I'm like, oh, he's just like a basic kind of guy. But when season 2 comes, you're actually like, oh, you don't want to mess with this guy. This guy knows a lot of shit. This guy knows his shit. And I really liked Varys. Varys is a really cool character. And I love his relationship with him and Tyrion. I like their friendship. First starts off as kind of like a sort of rivalry, but then it actually turns into a friendship because they grew to respect each other. They're both intellects, and they both actually do care about what the kingdom needs. They actually do care about the people and everything, and they actually want what's best for this world and for all the 7 kingdoms. And I do enjoy Varys very much, and there's nothing much else to say other than He has no dick, and he's a really smart character, and I really like smart characters in TV shows, and Varys is one of the smartest in this show, and yeah, I really like him. Go Varys. Coming in number 4 is Arya Stark. I loved Arya in the very first episode. As soon as when Brandon's holding the arrow and she shoots the arrow and hits the bullseye, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like this young girl. She sounds awesome. And she was awesome. Each season, Arya just gets better and better and better. And I love this character. This little actress, well, she's getting older now, but yeah, this young actress, she's very, very good. She plays the role so freaking well. I love Arya. I love all this shit. She goes through a lot in this show. Well, every character goes through a lot, but she goes through some dark shit. She loses so much of her family. She loses her pet. She loses so many friends, but she still keeps her head up. And all she wants to do is fight. And she wants to kill all those fucking people who caused her harm in this world. And you just want that for Arya. You're like, yes, Arya, you kill those motherfuckers. And yes, Arya is great. I love Arya. Coming number 3 is Jon Snow. Yes, Jon the Bastard Snow. Honestly, when first season came, Ned Stark and Jon Snow were my favorite characters. Hands down. But then that changed when the seasons kept going. Like I said, when more and more seasons come, more and more character development, and more interactions, and more shit happens, you're like, oh, maybe I grew to love this character more. Jon Snow was my favorite in the beginning, and now he's only my third. But third's still good. He gets the bronze medal of Jordan's and my top 10 Game of Thrones characters. But yeah, it's still good. I love Jon Snow. Kit Harington. Coming number 2 is Daenerys Targaryen, or Daenerys Stormwall, or Mother of Dragons, whatever you want to call her. Khaleesi, even. But yeah, I love Daenerys. Daenerys is the best female character, one of the best characters in this show. I love this character. God, she's been through a lot, and she grew as a person. She went from basically a helpless little princess into a big queen that rules a lot of kingdoms in the south, and she's just so freaking awesome. I love Daenerys. And each season she goes through something different, and it gets more and more interesting, and it gets a little more intense. You're like, oh my god, and you just pray every episode, don't die, Daenerys, this is Game of Thrones, I love to kill characters, don't die, Daenerys, please don't die. And she hasn't yet. Mother of Dragons is not dead. Mother of Dragons, and I love Daenerys. She's just so freaking awesome. I love her troops too. I love Grey Worm, I love Jorah, I love Severus. I love them all. They're all great. But Daenerys, it just owns this show. She's one of the best things about this show. She actually is a great queen. She's learning how to be queen now. In season 4, she had to learn some, you gotta deal with some bad shit being a queen. And sometimes you gotta do some bad things to do the right thing, like I said before. Locking up her dragons and stuff. That might bite her in the ass this season. I hope nothing bad happens to her. Like I said, don't die, Daenerys, but I still think all the stuff she has done and all the decisions she has made are very good decisions and very wise, and I like her as a queen. She fits well at the throne, and I'd love to see her take the throne, and technically she does deserve it because her father was the rightful king, so yeah, I like Daenerys. She's awesome, she's sexy, she's brilliant, she's smart, and my number 1 favorite Game of Thrones character is, this should come as no shock to anyone, Tyrion Lannister. Yes, Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. Yes, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I love Tyrion Lannister. He's not only one of the most smartest characters, most likeablest characters, and the most badass character, he's also a dwarf. It's badass. He's played by one of the best actors ever, Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage owns this role of Tyrion Lannister. I love Tyrion. I loved him in the first season. He was always a really cool, smart-ass character, and I loved how he outsmarted some people in the first season. But like I said, Jon Snow and Ned Stark were my favorites, but season 2, that was the season for Tyrion. How when he's the king's hand, and basically he runs the kingdom. Not Joffrey, he runs the kingdom, and he does an awesome job of it. And he does an awesome job at it, and I love how he just outsmarts all these smart people. He outsmarts Varys, he outsmarts the Maester, he outsmarts Littlefinger, and I like how he just plays them all against each other just because he loves outwitting them and outsmarting them. Basically, that's what he likes to do. That's why Tyrion lives, because he outsmarts people. That he would be dead in the first season, but because he's so clever and so smart, and how he outwits people, that's why he's still alive, and that's why I love him. And yeah, basically, he said in the first season, my brother has his sword, I have my mind. And that's Tyrion for you. Love Tyrion. So yeah, that was my top 10 favorite Game of Thrones characters. So please comment below, give me your top 10 favorite Game of Thrones characters. I know there's a lot out there. Comment below, let me know. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.